Hi everyone. Today I have Matt Johnson with me, and he's a former graduate of the LTA program, and he's going to talk to you today about getting an LTA is good for your career, and I know you want to hear what he's got to say. So, Matt, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, I was born and raised in Geneva. Um, I went to school at Wabansie right out of high school. Got my associates there. Went to the University of Illinois at Springfield. Got my undergrad. Worked for a little bit. Uh, and then I got my LTA actually in 2010. May 2010 is when I completed it. Um, and then I worked at Oswego Library for almost 2 years, and then I went to grad school at that University of Wisconsin in Madison. And this past December, actually, I just finished the program.
Well, that's very impressive.
So,
So how has the Library Technical Assistant certification helped you?
it helped me get the job at Oswego for sure. They even told me that. The reason was because when I was getting my LTA, uh, I was I learned not not only different types of databases or usage of like public libraries or uh, different tech services. I learned the materials, but it got me actually like doing it instead of learning. And there's a lot of hands-on during my LTA. And when I worked at well, any job I've had, the LTA helped me, but especially because of my certificate that got me the job at Oswego. So,
Well, it's good to hear that the hands-on experience helped you because we try hard. So could you tell me some of your unexpected experiences in using your LTA? I think this, when I first told my students a little bit about you, this is what interested them most.
well, of course, I've worked for the three public libraries, but I also did a practicum up in Madison, Wisconsin at WIOU TV. So pretty much what I did was I did all the metadata for a bunch of photos. There were some videos I did metadata on, but for the most part, it was photos. They're very low staffed, and there's not many people that work there, but most of my practicum was online, so I got to do the entire thing online on a keyboard and doing metadata for hundreds. I don't know how many photos I did, but it's a lot of photos that I did metadata for.
Yeah, that's not easy to do metadata for photos. Could you tell me a little bit about the database that you created?
Yeah, well, we had a couple different ones. I had one called Sarah Roberts. There's another one that I did, and I believe you might show it to the students.
Yeah, we'll get a little snapshot of it.
Okay. Anyway, so what it is it has a bunch of different descriptions for each photo. The photos that I did were primarily outside. Some were inside, but a lot of them were like different rallies outside Madison, and so you had to describe everything when it comes to flags, men, women, shirts, the type of weather it is, the background, if they're streets, they're in the middle of nowhere, everything. You have to look at everything in the photo. So there were different like subject headings, tags, location, who the creator was, language, format, date, title. So probably every photo took longer than others, but a good 10 minutes for every photo. That's about how long it took.
So these were descriptors for whatever you were viewing to describe to make the photo searchable.
Yeah, because with metadata, it's data about data. That's pretty much what metadata is, and to be in simplest terms, I guess. And so, what there's a lot of databases that you put these in, and it's for the public's viewing. They go into the archives. That way, there could be, higher ups who need these type of photos, for example, that it'll be, oh, click it, type this in, and it's right there. So it's searchable for not only, I don't know, the public, but even like the higher ups. It's really important to get it done for them as well.
So we'll have some screenshots of YWOU, so you have the contact information. Now, so how does metadata help libraries manage content?
Well, it probably helps them in a way that it can be accessed to the public. I went to a conference up in Wisconsin about this time last year. It was called Data Day, and it was a bunch of librarians, people who worked in museums, education people were there. I don't know, about 200, 250 people attended, and there's about 10 or so speakers on different topics of different types of data. Some were more interesting than others about the topics, but I think overall it gives you this big assumption that data and metadata, all that, it's very important to have in libraries. It's actually probably very hard for them to function without it. So.
Okay, well, certainly to have their content, their digitized content accessible on the web. So, well, that's certainly a good skill to have.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, changing topics here, we asked you to help us out. Our chapter this week is about media, and specifically about copyright and media. So it's really hard, the first time that you've been introduced to U.S. copyright laws, but we were hoping you could help us understand how they impact library public services.
Well, I'll try. Real quick, I had a class up in Wisconsin, actually. We talk about copyright and copyright laws and how it affects libraries in academic, special, public. We talked about it for a week, and everyone was very confused about it. We actually took a quiz, like a fun quiz at the end, and I don't think anyone did very well on it, but I think the most important thing to know about copyright, especially in libraries, is, yeah, obviously it's very important, but as librarians, we have to actually follow what's going on in the state, because the different copyright laws could change from year to year, and if you're not really kept up with it, actually I think you're going to find out eventually, maybe possibly through the higher ups, but it's good to know in detail, because you're going to have patrons who ask you about some of these laws. I have before.
Really? What kind of questions have they asked?
When I worked at Sun Prairie Public Library, actually up in Wisconsin, and there was a bill that never passed, but there was a bill to stop the usage of different sites on the internet like Yahoo and all these news sources in libraries, which actually we disagree with. I don't know how it kind of moved on. It was never passed. I don't think it was but I had patrons who came up to me and they asked me, not only will it pass, or they asked me like what I thought about it, or how would this affect them. So obviously I would tell them about that and what the current library's copyright laws were,
So it's a good thing to follow going forward, even after your course and program completion.
Yeah.
I recommend that.
Oh, for sure. And as a librarian, you have to keep up with everything all the time. It can be technologies or different types of laws, or what's being passed or not passed in the House and Senate. It's really it's really important to know what's going on in the world. That way you can kind of pass that along to other students, parents, whoever that may be interested, and you can help them in a larger way of just finding the book or using the databases. So.
Okay, great. Okay, Matt. So you've provided us a list of resources for us to learn more about copyright, and I noticed that you recommended the ones from UW-Madison as especially useful. Can you tell us a little bit why you included that particular resource?
Yeah, well, not only did I use it up in Madison, but it's a very helpful website. I was actually told that there's different schools that have like very specific topics that kind of the nation uses. If that makes sense, like students from Wisconsin sometimes use sources from Texas, or Texas they use different sources from whatever. That website that I provided is like one of the most popular websites about copyright laws through academic schools, which I thought was kind of cool.
Okay, good. Well, the students will have a chance to look through the website and then come up with a question to ask you later. We're going to provide your contact information, and that it'll be interesting to continue that conversation. So thank you for the information about metadata and copyright. And as I said, we're going to provide this list of web resources now, and we've organized them according to the metadata topics and then the copyright topics. And what are the other type of resources that are that the students can now see in this list?
There's going to be resources from the university. There's going to be resources about different websites about jobs. There's going to be different websites about copyrights and the laws and what goes into them. There's going to be links about metadata as well and tools. So all of them are really important, at least I think, and they should be at least looked at and gone over for at least a little bit. So.
Okay, well that's great background information as we introduce you to the class and continue this conversation after the students have had a chance to look at the resources that you've recommended. So,
yeah, I can answer anyone's question about whatever question you have, really, about anything. So just send me an email and I should be able to respond relatively quickly.
Okay, very good. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.